Well, good morning, everyone. You know, when my wife, Carrie, and I moved to Bend nearly 4 years ago, we rented a one-bedroom apartment while our house was under construction. And it was a third-floor unit, accessible only by an exterior staircase. And we filled it with an inflatable bed, a couple of chairs and desks, and what seemed like 1,000 boxes of stuff. Well, it wasn't a fearful situation, of course, and we had nothing to complain about. I mean, so many people live in dangerous situations or don't have a place to call home, and they would love to have an overcrowded apartment in which to live. And so, yeah, we were blessed to have that apartment, but it was uncomfortable. Certainly not what we were accustomed to. But we knew that it was temporary, and that made it tolerable. Now, in the gospel that we just heard, Jesus tells his apostles not once, not twice, but 3 times, he tells them, do not be afraid. Now, this passage is taken from the middle of a larger discourse. And right before this, he told them, you will be persecuted. You will be dragged and flogged and put to death. Brother will turn against brother, parent against child. And yet he still says, do not be afraid. I don't know, these sound like things that are legitimate reasons to be afraid. But then Jesus goes a little deeper. And he says, do not be afraid of the one who can kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. You know, living in that apartment reminded me of how differently we experience things when we know that they're temporary. And Jesus is trying to teach us to see our bodies and this earthly life through that same lens. This body, this physical body that you and I possess is kind of like that overcrowded apartment. It's temporary. We tend to think of ourselves as physical beings with spiritual dimension. But in fact, we are spiritual beings with a physical dimension. Everything in this world is temporary, including our bodies. But our bodies are good. Of course, they are created by God, but they are temporary. The soul is eternal. And so this admonition that Jesus has for the apostles, do not be afraid, it is intended for us also. See, most of us are never going to face the kind of dangers that the apostles faced. All of them, except John, were martyred for the faith. But we do face things that stir up fear within us. So, economic insecurity, social unrest, geopolitical tensions, these are real concerns, but they are temporal concerns, and they are therefore temporary. As long as we put our trust in God, we have nothing to fear. It may seem as though the opposite of fear is bravery or courage. But in the Christian life, the opposite of fear is faith. Fear closes us off from the world. Faith opens the world for us. Fear focuses on what might go wrong. Faith focuses on the one who loves us. And this God in whom we put our faith does love us. He loves each of us beyond measure. Now think of the person in your life whom you love above all others. Maybe a spouse, a parent or a child, a sibling. Picture that person in your mind's eye. And then ask yourself, how many hairs are on their head? I mean, I love my wife beyond measure, but I have no idea how many hairs are on her head. but God knows. And each of us is going to encounter difficulties and even harm in this life. It's part of the human condition. But Jesus assures us that the God who loves us so intimately that he knows the number of hairs on our head will save our eternal souls. The only thing he asks is that we acknowledge his Son before others. And we can do that with words and deeds by sharing the love, compassion, and mercy of Christ with all whom we encounter. A co-worker who's struggling, a neighbor who's lonely, a stranger in need of patience and kindness. And so this morning, as we gather in this sacred space to share this sacred meal, let us be mindful of the words of Jesus. Do not be afraid. Let us put our trust in the Lord. Let us put our faith in the Lord. And let us allow that faith to shape how we live, how we love, and how we make him known in the world.